So kato guys, sa gross method and net method, and between the two purchases, ang na-record, ang naka-avail lang is si 3 million. Pilay purchase discount sa 3 million? That is 3 million times 2%. We have 60,000. Okay? So, minusan na natog 60,000 kay naka-avail siya og purchase discount. Okay. Next is the 2 million na purchase. Since wala man siya ka-avail, so that is still 2 million. No related purchase discount. Okay. So our answer for the gross method under gross method is 4,940,000. So that is our answer for this item. But if the company employs the net method, so unsaon man ni? If mag-journalize si company, iyang gamiton is the discounted amount. So, ang discounted amount sa 3 million, kung nakuha na siya 2%, is just 2,940,000 na lang. So, muna yung gigamit. Purchases, 2,940,000 and accounts payable, 2,940,000. Okay? While sa 2 million na purchase, ang gigamit niya nga amount, discounted gyapon, that is 1,960,000. Okay. So, we have the amount, 4.9 million. So, muna na siya guys. Muna ang amount of purchases. So, unsay nahitabo atong kuan? Since, diba, purchases, for the second purchases, 1,960,000 yung credit accounts payable, 1,960,000. Pero wa man siya ka-avail wa siya ming avail because July 31 na siya ming bayad, wala siya ka-avail sa purchase discount na 40,000. So, that particular 40,000, it is treated as purchase discount, loss on purchase discount. So, forfeit or purchase discount forfeited. So, that is an expense account. Okay? Di na siya part sa cost of goods nga computation. Diretso na siya tong general expenses. Okay? So, if ato tong buhaton og journal entry, purchase discount forfeited, debit 40,000, and credit accounts payable. Since, of course, what you should pay is not the 1,960, but instead, the whole amount na 2 million. So, for this item, our answer under the net method is 4.9 million. So, I think dali ra si gross method, no? According to standard, mas appropriate gamiton si net method since it is following the matching principle. But as to practicability, gross method is much easier. Okay? Since di na kinahanglan mag-adjust if dili day ka-avail og discount. Okay? So, that's why it is very common on the practice na gross method ang ginagamit sa company. Okay? Next. So, sales revenue. When should we recognize the sales? Generally, we should recognize sales the moment on what particular period or asa siya nga year na baligya. Okay? Unsa may timainhal nga nabaligya na siya. So, our basis, number 1, if na, deliver na. Number 2, if there's already an agreement, okay? So, for example, the purchase commitment, do wala pa na-deliver, but since committed na ang customer na sila purchase commitment agreement, so it is good as sold also. Okay, so ang atong lantawon ani nga sa problem is the date of delivery. Since the question is sales revenue as of 2018, lantawon nato kano sa na-deliver ang oil, okay? So based sa problem, the 50,000 gallon were delivered on December 15, while the other 50,000 were delivered to be delivered also on January 1, 2015. Therefore, out sa 100,000, katurang 50,000 ang makonsider na to as part of the sales revenue sa 2018. Okay? So, you will just multiply the 50,000 to its selling price na 50 pesos. So, 50,000 times 50 pesos is just 2.5 million. Okay? So, that is the answer for this item. Okay, next. Okay, net sales. Net sales is sales minus sales return minus sales discount. Okay? After reflecting the returns and discounts sa sales, and that is what we refer as net sales. Okay. Let's check pila iyang net sales. So, ang unadjusted amount of the sales is 2 million. But there were items that we need to consider. May 3 items gihatag ang problem. So, goods were an invoice amount of 40,000. So, gibilled sa customer on January 15, but it was shipped on December 31, 2018. So, should i-appeal ba nato ni or dili? So, since it was already shipped, and remember, ang policy sa entity is FOB shipping point. So, therefore, it should be part already of our sales. So, i-add nato ni ang 40,000. Next, on January 5, 2018, a customer notified the entity that goods billed and shipped on December 31 were lost in transit. So, you assess, anang time, December 31, 2018, kinsa na may tag-iya atong merchandise or the goods. So, that time, ang tag-iya anak kay si customer na. So, whatever happens sa shipment, ang mo-bear sa expense, of course, si customer na. So, wala na control ang entity, and as well as since the title was already given to the customer on December 31, 2018, so it is as if that nabaligyan na jud to sa company. Okay? So, wala may button ang company. No need for the adjustment for this item. Ang remedy ni customer, of course, mayo siya og reimbursement from the katong ga-deliver. So, that is what we refer as claims from shipment. Okay? So, okay na ning second item. Third item, the entity authorized a customer return for full credit goods shipped. So, nag-authorize na siya og goods return. So, nana siya sales return. So, this is what we refer sales return, 25,000. Though the goods were received pagka January na, but since it was authorized, gidawat dyan sa company on December 31, so, you should consider this one as a sales return of the year 2018. Okay? So, you will just apply those adjustments. So, from 2 million, i-ada na to 40,000. Okay, sa second item, wala antay buhaton ani. And the third item, 25,000, that is less sales return, 25,000. So, our net sales should be 2,015,000. Okay? 2,040,000 minus 25,000. So, our answer for this item is 2,015,000. Okay? Next. Okay. So, according to PAS2, as to the cost of the inventory, na ay two method. Unsaon na to ang costing sa inventory. It could be FIFO method or weighted average method. Though the third one is the LIFO, but it is no longer allowed by the standard. So, ang kuana niya lang nga pwede is the FIFO and weighted average. And we also have this katong mga special cases na, diba, katong specific method, specific identification, and standard costing. So, kato siya nga mga methods are applicable to certain cases or special cases. So, we were going to focus our discussion on the FIFO and the weighted average. So those, we refer this one inventory cost flow, the flow of the inventory cost. Okay, so let's have first the FIFO method. So first in, first out. So kung sa itong una gi-purchase, maputoy una mabaligya. That is the concept here. So, ang question, pila ang cost of goods sold. So, ato lang i-refer ang atong sales. So, pila ka units ang nabaligya. So, ang atong nabaligya is 15,000. But since na may gibalik nga 1,000, therefore, 14,000 na jud ato ang nabaligya. So, pila man ang cost aning 14,000 units. We will just compute this one. Sa 14,000, okay, with the concept of first in, first out. So, ang una na niya nabaligya, ang una nga related na inventory, of course, the beginning balance. Okay, kani. Diba? Which is cost 1.5 million. So, kanang first 10,000, gikuha na siya sa beginning balance. Well, the 4,000 gikan sa gi-purchase on January 5. Okay, so 4,000. Anya ang cost aning purchase na to on January 5 is 180 per unit. Okay? So you try to compute pila ang cost sa nabaligya. So of course, ang first na 10,000 baligya, that is already 1.5 million plus katong 4,000 nga gikan sa first purchase nga tag 180 ang isa ka good, so we just multiply 4,000 times 180. Times 180 plus the beginning inventory. So that is already the cost of goods sold. So katong 14,000 nga gibaligya, ang palit jud nato ato is 2,220,000. Okay? So that is the way to compute if ang gipangutana is the cost of goods sold. Pero kung ang pangutana ending inventory, the amount of ending inventory, pabali po na itong approach. Dito magsugod sa sinugdanan. Sugod ta sa pinakaulahi nga gi-purchase. Kay ending inventory man, so pilay na bilin. So it is as if katong nga ulahi gi-purchase, amo jud to'y mga inventory nga ulahi mahali, which we considered as part of the ending inventory. Okay, let's compute pila ang nabili na lang. Okay? So, let's check pila ang available units na pwede baligya sa company. We have the beginning balance 10,000. Yung nag-purchase pa siya 10,000. Yung nakabaligya siya 15,000. Pero out sa 15,000, naigiuli nga 1,000. Next is na siya second purchase, which is amounting to 4,000. And also, out sa gi-purchase, na po siya giuli nga 2,000. So therefore, ang nabili na ang atong ending inventory is 8,000. So, mo na lang ni inventory on hand sa company. Okay? So, when we compute the ending inventory for this, kaning 8,000, of course, gikan sa latest nga gi-purchase, which is the 4,000. But take note, out sa 4,000 na inauli nga 2,000, so, ang available na lang ani nga inventory is 2,000. Okay? So, out sa 8,000, 2,000, kay tag 200 ang unit cost. So, therefore, ang the remaining 6,000 is from our previous purchase, which is kani. Diba? This is our previous purchase times 180. So, if the problem is asking for the ending inventory amount, so mo niya itong ending inventory amount, 2,000 times 200 plus the 6,000 times 180. So, our ending inventory is just 1,480,000. Okay? So, that's how we analyze and compute the cost if we are using FIFO method. Okay, question regarding the FIFO method, guys. So, actually guys, you can have different approach, but I find this particular approach easier. Pero kung ganun mo follow tong formula nga beginning plus purchases minus purchase return minus ending balance is equal to cost of goods sold, pwede ra gyapon. Okay? Use still that format. Beginning balance minus plus purchases minus purchase return minus ending inventory. You will arrive with the amount of the cost of goods. So same ra gyapon ang makam up na amount. Okay, next. Okay, this time, same problem pero ang gipagamit is weighted average. So, weighted average, okay? So, between the two, much simpler si weighted average. Okay, atong beginning balance. So, for us to compute the weighted average, we should first identify the weighted or the average cost of the inventory. Average cost per unit. In order for us to compute the average cost per unit, we will first identify the total amount of goods available for sale and the total cost of those goods available for sale. So, pila man atong total number of units available for sale. So, that is just the beginning balance plus the purchase, all purchases minus the purchase return. Okay? So, i-add ra nimo ning beginning balance, the purchases, na 10,000 o 4,000, minus ang giuli nga purchase. So, therefore, ang total units na available for sale is 22,000. Okay? Pila may total cost or pila tong nabayad aning 22,000 ka units. So, our total cost for this, of course, the 1.5 million plus the 1.8 million plus the 800,000 and less the nga gi-return. Of course, di na nimo to baryan, gibalik nimo. So, our total cost is 3.7 million. Okay, so in computing the average cost per unit, i-divide ra nimo ni si total cost divided by total number of units. Now, can you please compute the average cost per unit? Pila man atong average cost, guys? Can you please compute? Have you compute the average cost? Kay kung dili na itong makompute ang sakto nga average cost, then our weighted average, our amount for our ending inventory is not correct also. This is the first step that we need to know in order to compute the ending inventory using the weighted average. Okay, so that is correct. Our average cost is 168.18. So we treat our inventory, so under weighted average, we treat our inventory to have a cost of 168.18 pesos. So margi, consider na siya nga ang every inventory, mora ni ang cost, mora ni siya. I-average na nato. Di na mag-matter nga kani siya 150 lang gipalit, kani siya 180 pagpalit, dili na. So in the weighted average, we only have one cost in every inventory. Okay? And that is 168.18. So the question is the amount of our ending inventory. So ganiya ato namang gi-compute pila ka units ang nabilin. Diba? That is 10,000, 10,000, 10 plus 10 minus ang gibaligya nga 15 plus ang gibalik nga 1,000 plus ming palit na putag 4,000 minus ang gibalik nato sa supplier 2,000. So that's why ang nabilin nga units, number of units is 8,000. So our ending inventory has 8,000 units. But as to the cost, pila man po'y amount aning 8,000. So since na naman tay data nga ang per unit has an average cost of 168.18, so kaning 8,000 units ato na lang i-multiply sa cost, average cost per unit nga 168.18, and that is already the amount of our ending inventory. So for this item, our answer is 1,345,440. Okay, thank you Mr. Lagahoya for your answer. So maaari timan aning weighted average, guys. You should identify first pila ang total units available for sale. Next is pila ang total cost atong related nga total units. And then you divide. Once you divide that one, you will come up with the average cost per unit, and then you multiply that cost to the ending inventory units. Okay? So if ang pangutana, how much is the cost of goods sold, adto ta sa number of units nga nabaligya. So the number of units sold is 14,000. If we, after considering the sales return. So 14,000, i-multiply lang gyapon nato sa average cost. So average cost 168.18. So therefore, ang atong cost of goods sold is 2,354,520. So if we are about to compare the two, for me, much easier see weighted average for periodic system. Okay? By the way, guys, in inventory, we have two types of recording. We record this one as not a perpetual recording or perpetual system and periodic system. Okay, the company may employ perpetual system or periodic system. Si periodic system, the company is required to have a physical count at the end of the year. Okay, dapat mag-physical count siya in order for the company to identify pila na lang ang nabilin nga ending inventory. While sa perpetual system, the company would have a stock card that every time there is a sale, there is a purchase, they will record that one sa ilang stock card sa ilang inventory. So, it is easier for them to follow the cost flow. So, I mean the inventory flow. Pila ang nabaligya, pila ang na-purchase. So, kay naman sila stock card, so, kay dali ra ma-update ang ilang inventory. Every night transaction, ma-update ang ilang inventory. For example, mag-purchase sila o mag-record sila sa stock card og purchase. For example, namaligya sila, mag-record sila silang stock card og sale. So, on those transaction, ma-update dayon nila ang ilahang inventory. Which is unlike sa periodic nga wala sila ingato nga a method or system. So this weighted average kani nga pamaagi is applicable for under periodic system. So kay kung ang gigamit sa company is perpetual system, so they will be using a different approach. Though it is still a weighted average, but lahi og approach. Dili ka lang parehas ani nga total diretso, but same way, taga-update, mag-compute ka sa average. Taga-update sa inventory, compute na po ka sa average. Okay? So let's have a example para mas you will truly appreciate unsa dinhi si moving average. Okay, so si moving average, okay, we have this example. Okay, same problem, but it is a moving average. Again, moving average is still a type of weighted average, but this time the company is using a perpetual system. Unlike ganiha nga aturang gi total tanan and gi divide pud tanan, so kani siya per update malay ato ang total cost. So for example, na kay beginning balance 10,000, our unit cost is 150, amount is 1.5 million. And pag purchase nimo on January 5, 10,000, 180, 1.8 million. So, again, in every update, magbuhat ta og mag-compute ta sa average unit cost. So, pila na may available kuan nato units as of January 5. So, as of January 5, natay available units of 20,000. So, kaning 20,000, ang total na nagasto nato is 3.3 million. So, as of January 5, our average cost guys, is 3.3 million divided by 20,000. Okay? So, therefore, ang average cost as of January 5, we have 165. Next is nice sale. So, ma-update na pod ang ato ang inventory. Kay, nakuhaan naman siya because nabaligya na to ang 15,000. So, pilang cost aning 15,000? So, of course, we will use the 165 na average cost na na-compute na itong January 5. So, 20,000 minus 15,000. So, the updated number of units sa itong inventory is 5,000 na lang. Okay? Atong average cost, we're still using 165. So, actually guys, ang maka-affect sa itong average cost in the moving average is the purchases. 5,000 times 165, that is 825,000. Okay. Sales return. Okay, balik sa customer ang 1,000. So, update na po ka. Our average cost is still 165. And the amount is 165,000. Okay. So, let's put it here. 5,000 plus 1,000. So, our units available is 6,000. our average cost is still 165. And the total cost of this 6,000 is 825 plus 165. This is 990,000. Okay? So, we're done with this. So, next, pagka January 25, update na po, kay ming palit na po og purchases. So, kanin si 4,000, pilay palit, 200. So, kabayad ang company og 800,000. So, since na purchases, so you need to update your average cost. So, 10K, na nakay 10,000 units, total cost aning 10,000 units is 990 plus 800. That is 1,790,000. And it's quite hard solving using the mouse. Okay, just follow the, you can compute it on your own para mas proper inyong format, okay? So, you need to update our average cost. Ato ang pag-update sa average cost, total cost divided by the updated number of units. So, 1,790,000 divided by 10,000. So, our new average cost as of January 25 is 179 pesos. Okay, next. Nanapog kay giuli. Company has purchase return na 2,000. So, our updated number of units for the inventory is now 8,000. Okay? Tag 200. So, less the cost of this 2,000, 400,000. So, our updated total cost is only 1,390,000. Okay, so this time, we need to compute na po, pila na po atong updated average cost. So, that is 1,390,000 divided by 8,000. Okay, so our amount is 173.75. So this is our new average cost per unit. Okay, so the question for this item is how much should be reported as ending inventory. Okay, so itong ending inventory is 8,000. Yung total cost is 1,390,000. So for this item, our answer is letter B, 1,390,000. So you can make a proper computation for this if you have your paper or notes, para di mo makalimot sa moving average. Okay? The next question is, the next sale of inventory would be at what price ang cost, as to its cost, at what cost. So, kanilang, our updated average cost. So, money ang cost niya, 173.75. So, I think wala sa option. So, our answer should be 173.75. Okay? That is the latest na average cost per unit. Okay? So, our answer for this again, 173.75. Okay, next item. Cost of goods sold. Okay. As I've mentioned earlier, the inventory should be subsequently measured between lower cost and net realizable value, diba? So, if given two values for inventory, imong pilion kinsay mas gamay between ni cost o ni net realizable value. So, mili ra ka guys. And that is already the correct answer. So, the entity reported inventory at 3 million cost and 2.9 million NRV. So, December 31, 2018. Take note, 2019 na cost of goods sold atong i-compute. We will follow the basic format in computing cost of goods sold, beginning inventory plus the purchases minus ending inventory. Okay? So, pila man itong beginning inventory? So, for 2019, our beginning inventory is sa 2018. But we should choose kung sa itong gamito na ni kaning 3 million nga cost or 2.9 million nga NRV. So, according to standard, LC and RV, lower of cost and net realizable value. So, we choose the NRV, which is only 2.9 million. Okay? Plus the purchases, of course, that is given 9 million. Plus na to. And less the ending inventory of the 2019. Okay, duwa na pod ka amount ang gihatag, 4 million o 3.7 million nga NRV. So if we are to choose, of course we're going to choose whichever is lower. 3.7 million. Okay? So our amount of cost of goods sold, or COGS, is 2.9 million plus 9 million minus 3.7 million. So, our answer for this item is 8.2 million. Okay? I hope we have the same answer. Ano siya answer ani guys? Next. Okay, quite the same. Ang ilang gingon diri is they were using allowance method. So, ang allowance method is we have two types of adjusting our inventories if there is a difference between the cost and the NRV. So, pwede na to i-adjust using direct method and allowance method. Ang direct method, once you adjust, diretso nimo record sa inventory. I mean, i-credit na nimo inventory para magamay iyang amount. Si allowance method, dili ka mo gamit sa inventory account, but you use allowance for inventory write down. Okay? Or allowance on or inventory write down. So, imong i-debit kung direct method ha, you imagine the journal entries, the direct method, loss on inventory write down, dayon credit inventory account. That is for direct method. While for allowance method, wala na to gi-change ang inventory account because we have a contra asset nga account which is the allowances. Okay, so we debit loss on inventory write down and credit allowance for inventory write down. So as you can see, sa allowance method wala dyan na apektuhan ang inventory account. So that is just the difference. Ang nakakuha lang sa allowance method because for example, this year ning write off ka o or ming record ka og allowance for write down 200,000. Okay, for example, okay, let's use this pagka December 31, 2018, since there is a difference between the cost and the NRV, so imong inventory nga 4 million, dapat himuon nimog 3.5 million. So since allowance method, ang atong gamiton ani nga journal entry is loss on inventory write down 500,000 and allowance for inventory write down 500,000. So kaning loss on inventory write down, it become part of our cost of goods sold. So this will be added. Add na to ni siya sa cost of goods sold. Okay? Pagka next year, okay, this is year 2018. Pagka 2019, say nahitabo ang iyang inventory gikan sa 5 million nahimo og 4.8 million. Okay? So therefore, ang atong allowance for inventory write down should be 200,000. But since naka-record tag 500,000 last year, of course, pagka 2019 nagyapon ni allowance for inventory write down nga 500,000. But take note, dili na 500,000 atong allowance, it should be 200,000. That's why there is a reversal on our allowances. So i-reverse na nato na siya, guys. We debit allowance for inventory write down 200,000. Para ma 200,000, we use 300,000 as our adjustment. Diba? Plus 500 minus 300, so it means our allowance has a balance of 200,000, which is the required amount for us to have our NRV amounting to 4.8 million. So reverse unta nato, pero dili naman na siya i-consider as loss because this is a gain. Okay? Nakaginan siya. So our credit is gain on allowances. Okay, so kani siya, this is still part of the cost of goods sold, but unlike the losses, diri nga losses add siya kaning gain, this is a deduction. Deduction of the cost of goods sold because this is gain. So it should be deduction. Ilas nimo. So that's it. But whatever the company uses or applies, dapat at the end of the day, ang ilang inventory cost should always be the same. I mean, mag-direct method ba sila or mag-allowance method sila, ang ilang makam up nga inventory cost is still the same. It is just, there is a difference as to the recording of those write down. Okay? Okay. So, same rin po itong pamaagi, guys. We use the 3.5 million plus the purchases nga 20 million minus the ending inventory nga 4.8 million. So, our answer for this is 18.7 million. Okay? Beginning inventory, 3.5 million. Our purchases, 20 million minus the ending inventory nga 4.8 million. Okay? Same ra gyapon. I just want you to know what if na ay reversal. Okay? And take note, the reversal is only up to pila ang gi-recognize nga loss. Okay? Bawal mo reverse o more than 500, ha? Okay. Okay, that's it. Next. Okay, what should be the correct or what should be the inventory amount LCNRV individual approach? You're going to choose the LCNRV in every item A, B, A, B. Category 1A, Category 1B, Category 2A, Category B. So, kay individual approach man go. So, that is what we mean by individual approach. So, we have individual approach, category approach, and total approach. So, it means you will compare it individually. So, si category 1A, compare nimo, unsay lower nila. So, si 2625. Si B, unsay lower, 16. Sa category 2, unsay lower, 1.6 pa rin. Si category 2B, what is lower is 1.8. So, you will just add all of this and you will have the answer for this item. So, mo na means sa individual approach. You choose LCNRV individually. Okay? So, our answer for this is 7,625,000. Okay. So, this is our answer. Okay, next. Okay, same problem but we will be having category approach. Okay, so you compute ato nang pag-compare by category. So, ang cost sa category 1 is 4,325,000. While ang NRV sa category 1 is 2,875 plus 16. That is 4,475,000. So, for category 1, we will going to choose the cost because this is lower than the NRV. For category 2, yung cost is 3,950,000. Okay? While sa NRV, yung amount is 3,400,000. So, for the category 2, we're going to choose the NRV or the not realizable value. Sa category 1, atong gipili kay ang cost. Okay, so add na lang nato ng 2, 4,325 plus 34. So our answer is 7,725,000. Okay, so that is what we refer category approach. Okay, next, we have the total approach. So, i-total na nato tanan ang total cost and the total NRV. So, ang total cost is 8,275,000. Total lang na. Well, our total NRV, this is 7,875,000. So, between the two, cost or NRV, of course, we choose the NRV because this is lower than the cost. So, this is our answer if we are having the total approach. Okay? That's it. Okay. So, di ba ganiya sa individual? Dito na to nagamit sa LCNRV. Actually, this is just the row or the column wherein siya na mismong namili. Kinsay lower ni cost, lower ni NRV. But since total approach man siya, okay, we're going to total everything first. Usa na to i-compare sila. So, kato guys, please take note unsa nga approach ang giingon sa problem because again, it could be individual. So, i-compare nimo siya individually. Category, i-compare nimo ang cost as to category nga amount. And lastly, the total approach. Total sa nimo usa i-compare. Okay? Sometimes ma-neglect ni siya nga kuan, mudaritso na tag kani nga call this column, but it is just the tricky part here. Diretso nimo add tanan, but they will have the different answer. Okay, next. Purchase commitment. So guys, what is purchase commitment? So purchase commitment is an agreement between two parties wherein they have fixed price and a fixed date when to purchase the particular goods or product. So it is one way for the company, the purchaser, in order for them to be secured, because due to the volatility of the market, diba, say mutaas o say muubos, but some companies are taking this particular agreement para maprotektahan ilang costing. I mean, dili kay sila maapektuhan if ever there are changes as to the market prices, especially if mutaas o kalit, diba? So that's why they were having this particular agreement. But given the scenario, nagipoy mga company nga mo sugot og purchase commitment. Kay what if di ay nga mulasar ang value? At least nakahatag na sila ng particular nga agreed value, so makaginan siya po itong company. So again, it is somewhat like a gamble, pero di siya gamble, pero this is a strategy for the companies. Kung mo taas ang price sa POV sa purchaser, ginansya sila kay taas ang price niya, maura to ilang nasabutan, so nakaginansya ang purchaser. But if may lower ang price at the date nga kwaon na, at the date of purchase, so nakaginansya ang namaligya. Okay, so ang rule lang sa purchase commitment, what you should recognize, of course, nagyapon na itong periodicity as of 2018 and 2019, dapat i-comply gyapon na to na. So, okay, let's use the problem. Accordingly, the entity entered into a commitment to purchase 100,000 barrels. So, ang fixed price 55,000. Our fixed date is March 21, 2019. Okay. Our question is how much should we recognize as loss on purchase commitment in 2018. So, diretso ta sa given na market value as of 2018. So, our market value as of 2018 is 50 pesos. Okay? So, ilang nasabutan? 55. Pero ang market price as of 2018 is 50 pesos. So, si purchaser or katong ming entered sa commitment, nagansi siya og 5 pesos per barrel. So, pila man to yung i-purchase? That is 100,000. So, as of 2018, 100,000 times 5, so na siya loss sa purchase commitment amounting to 500,000. Okay? So, that is our answer. Pagka next item, which is still connected with the problem, pila ang gain? Okay? Nagka-gain ba pagka 2019? So, let's compare the agreed price to the market price as of 2019. Our agreed price is 55, while ang market price is 53. If you can see, ang iyang kuan, agreed price 55, but ang market price 53. At first glance, ma'am, wala siya nagka-gain. Diba? 55 ang mga nasabutan, but 53 ra ang nasa market. Okay? So, therefore, it is somewhat that nagka-loss gyapon ko or the company. But take note na ana kay gi-recognize as loss atong 2018. Naka-recognize man kag loss good sa 2018. But imo ra jud ang tinuod na loss is pila man? 55 minus 53. Imong tinuod na loss is 200,000. Okay? So that's why you need to adjust as again ang difference nga 300,000. Okay? That's how you analyze. Kung ingantuon na to daritso 55 versus 53, loss kog 200,000. So mag-record na po kag loss guys, 200,000. Nya tong 2018 may record kag loss po 500,000. It is quite duplication of losses. Pero in fact, isa ra to in substance. Diba? Nahimo og 700,000 imong loss. Which is in reality, imo ra jung loss is 200,000. That's why, in order for the company to adjust its loss in 2018, mo record siya gain nga 300,000. So that ma-reflect iyang tinuod na loss nga 200,000. Okay? So our gain to be recorded is 300,000. So that is our answer for this item. Or pwede na po ninyo idiretso compare the previous market price versus the current market price, then times the 100,000. So same ra gyapon, but that is the rationale here. Okay, next. But if ang pangutana pila ang cash nga ibayad, of course always mag-base ta sa agreed price. Kaya mo naman jud ilang nasabutan mo po na ang cash nga i-bayad. But if the question is pila ang purchase amount should be the mili ka fixed price or market price, and then you choose the lower amount. Okay? So for example, sa tong problem, our purchase amount should be 530,000. I mean 5.3 million. 53 times 100,000, that is our purchase amount. Katong kaning 200,000, of course, that is already the loss. Okay? So, timan ilang to guys. Take note, the question is how much cash was paid. So that is based sa agreed price. But if the question is how much is the purchase amount, ang record na purchase, you choose the lower the between the two price, agreed price o current market price, you choose the lower price. Okay? And that is the purchase amount. Okay? So, what amount should be debited on purchase? So, mo na to kung giingon. You choose the lower between the agreed price and the current market price. So, 55 versus 53. So, we choose 53 pesos times 100,000. And that is the correct amount that should be debited on the purchases. So your record purchases 5.3 million. Okay? Okay. Now let's go to the estimation. For the estimation of the inventory, we have two methods. We have the gross profit method and the retail method. This is the last part of the inventory. Are we almost done? Okay, hapit naman tamahuman guys. Extend lang ta gamay. Mga 20 minutes. Okay. So, the estimation guys. This is estimation of inventory cost. Why there is a need to estimate the inventory cost? Because there are cases wherein dili ma-identify ang correct amount sa inventory. That's why we have this estimation or inventory valuation na method. First is the gross profit method and the second is retail inventory method. So, kani si gross profit method, this is easier for me. Easier compared to retail inventory method because retail inventory method there were a lot of items that you should take into account. So between the two, much easier si gross profit method. Okay, so there were a lot of cases when the company may estimate their inventory cost. The first one is nadam fire or naay mga what. So that is the first case nga kinahanglan ta mag-estimate. Second is kanang mga interim, the company is applying interim reporting. So that is also the time when the company will estimate their cost. Okay, so let's have the gross profit method first. So we are basing our cost as to the sales. So that's why it is very important for you to know the basic formula. Okay? Sa ending inventory, that is beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory. Okay, beginning inventory plus purchases, that is what we call TIGAS, or the total goods available for sales. You still remember this, guys? Minus the ending inventory. So we have our cost of goods sold. So this is the basic format in computing the cost of goods sold. But since the cost ang atong pangitaon first is ending inventory, that's why we will manipulate this equation. So for us to come up with the ending inventory, atong formula is TIGAS minus COGS. Or in short, para mahibaw-an na to ang ending inventory, dapat kabalo ta pila ang total goods nga available for sale minus sa cost nga cost of goods na nabaligya. So, we come up with the ending inventory amount. So, then this will be the formula that we're going to use in order to compute inventory shortage. So, saan yung pagkabalo? Pag nanatay ending inventory, i-compare na yun nimo sa actual ending inventory sa company. Ano na siya? Okay, let's try to solve this one. Okay? Natay beginning inventory, 5 million. Okay. Natay purchases, 26 million. 2 million nga freight in, minusa na to purchase return, and allowances purchase discount, 1.5 million. So, if we follow that one, beginning inventory, and kani siya, this is what we refer, net purchases. So, mora ni siya, net purchases na to. So, 5 million, and then this one, so our amount is, our answer. Let's try to solve. So, our tigas is 28 million. So, naratay tigas, 28 million. But, wala tay cost of goods sold. So, atong pangitag pamaagi para ma-solve na to ni si cost of goods sold. Accordingly, si cost of goods sold is related sa sales. Diba? Since cost of goods sold is the cost of the sales. So, kung kabalo ka pila ang sales, kung kabalo po ka pila ang rate of cost, the cost or cost ratio or the cost rate or the what we refer gross profit rate, makuha daw nimo ang cost of goods sold. So, let's compute the net sales. Base of problem, or net sales, 40 minus 3 minus 1. So, that is pila? 36. But in computing the net sales, we're using this in the estimation, guys. Accordingly, dili na to i-appeal ang sales discount. Why? Because there is no actual flow of the inventory. Wala dyan siya gibaligya. Okay? I mean, wala dyan nabaligya amounting to 1 million because it is just a discount. So that, when we compare the cost of goods sold and the sales, much reliable daw ang makuha nga percentage. If ever, dili given ang percentage. But since it is a gross profit method, so it should be given. Or there were other case, kamoy mo compute, then hatagan lang mo og sales and cost of goods sold from previous years. So makaya na po to siya, guys. You just divide the cost divided by sales. Okay, so our net sales, we ignore the sales discount because there is no actual flow of the inventory, unlike the sales return. So, 37 million. Okay. So, with this 37 million, we can convert this one to our cost of goods sold. So, na to pag-convert sa cost of goods sold, you will just multiply this one to the cost ratio or the cost rate. Say cost rate, ma'am, or cost. Yeah, the cost of the percentage. So, as you can see, gihatag ang gross profit rate. So, it means our sale is the 100%. Right? Ang atong gross profit is the 40%. Sales minus cost is equal to gross profit. So, ang cost rate or the percentage of cost is 60%. That is just 100 minus 40%. See? Okay. that is 60 pala. So the percentage of the cost is 60%. So, kung ato pang binasayon, 60% sa sales is the amount of the cost. So, that's how you compute the cost of goods sold. So, it means sales times the cost rate or the percentage of cost, 60%. Okay? So, mo na cost sa imuhang sales. So, 37 million times 60% is 22.2 million. So, balik ta sa itong formula sa ending inventory. We have 22.2 million here. So, Tigas minus COGS, our ending inventory is amounting to 5.8. Nanatay ending inventory nga, 5.8 million. Let me erase it first. Ang pangutan na pilang shortage. So, let's compare pilang tatong inventory sa nabilin nga inventory. Okay? So, sa 5.8 million, ang naara nato, currently, actual nga naa sa company na lang. First, na siya 4 million. Diba? Next is, na siya gi-consigned na selling price 1 million. So, take note, we're not concerned with the selling price, but instead, the cost. So, pila kay cost aning 1 million nga selling price? Since gatagan tag 40% nga, meaning, mao na yung markup niya 40%, that is 400,000. So, 1 million minus 400,000, the cost is 600,000. So, ang nara-juday sa company, actual inventory is only 4.6 million. But accordingly, dapat ang ending inventory is 5.8 million. So, ang difference, that is what we refer as inventory shortage. So, you deduct the 4.6 from the 5.8 million. So, our answer for this is 1.2 million. Okay? So, take note of the formula, guys, because this is the basis in the estimation of the inventory valuation. Okay? So, same concept from before. Estimated amount of fire loss. So, fire loss, okay. Ang difference ng ani, guys, kay ang gihatag niya is gross profit based on cost. Ganiha, ang gihatag is gross profit based on sales. So, ang kalahian nila, ganiha atong gi-multiply, diba? Net sales times gross profit RD. That is 1 minus 40%. Okay? That is what we do to get the cost ratio. Pag based on cost, instead na i-multiply, ato ang i-divide. Wala ito yung difference nila. So, same process as to computation. So, pag abot diri, 30% based on cost. So, you do 1 minus 30%, 70%. Then, you don't multiply the 70% to the net sales, but instead, you divide. Okay? So, please be careful if ang gross profit is based on cost or based on sales. Again, pag sales, multiply. Pag cost, based on cost, divide. Okay. I think you can answer this one on your own. Anyway, the answer is given. For this one, same concept but wala gihatag ang gross profit rate. So, it's your job to compute. Kung sa'yo mo gamiton 2017, 2016, 2015. Atong gamiton guys is the total. Okay? Always the total. So, ang total, that is 2,250,000. In order for us to compute this one, 2,250 divided by 9 million. So, 2,250 divided by 9 million, we have 25%. So, itong gross profit rate, 25%. Or percentage of the cost is 75%. So, para makuha si COGS again, 75%, i-multiply nato sa net sales. Follow ra gyapon to, beginning inventory plus purchases. Tigas and tigas minus COGS. Yung sa pagkuha si COGS, net sales times the percentage of cost, the 75%. Okay? So, next is the retail method. So, kano sa ginagamit ang retail method? The retail method is used when daghan og merchandise and it is parehas sila. They're in the same nature. So, it was commonly used in the merchandise, mga department store, daghan kay inventory. So, and dali ra pod na sila ginailisan. I mean, when they order or kuan sila og sa ilang supplies, consistent ang ilang inventory flow. So, we will use the retail method. So, they were advised to use retail method. So, you will just compare the cost and the retail and then compute the cost ratio or cost percentage. So, unlike ganiha sa gross profit method, net sales ang i-multiply nato sa gross profit or the cost ratio para makuha ang cost of goods sold. Diri, para makuha ang cost of goods sold, the cost ratio was computed by dividing the cost from the retail. Retail is just like the selling price also. Okay? So, retail method na siya tulo ka approach. We have the conservative approach, the average approach, and the FIFO approach. So, I'll just go over this one quickly because I'm quite over time. So, anyway, I will just give you the solution for this retail method because it is very lengthy. Or if you have books, you may go over also. Okay, so sa conservative approach, again, you will have to compute the cost ratio. So, you have to compute first pila ang total goods available for sale using the cost amount and the retail amount. So, same concept, gining inventory plus purchases, katong mga purchases, yung mga markups and markdown. So, you will integrate that one in computing para makuha ninyo ang goods available for sale as to cost amount or as to retail amount. So, when we say cost amount, as to cost, katong puhunan sa company, ni si retail amount gibutangan na og markup sa company. So after computing the goods available for sale, you divide 9.6 million divided by the retail 16 million. Lumakuha na dayon nimo ang cost ratio. After having the cost ratio, just like what we did before, ang cost ratio i-multiply na nimo sa ending inventory retail to estimate the cost of ending inventory. So I know this is quite difficult at first glance, but once na maanad mo sa iyang computation, it is easier. And let's go over with the items first. So again si retail method, you will compare the cost and retail amount. Si cost, puhunan, si retail nanay markup. So there were items nga included sa cost, nga dili included sa retail, or there were items nga included sa retail and the cost. So this is your guide, quick guide. So for example, si purchase discount, makaapekto siya sa cost pero di siya makaapekto sa retail. Makaapekto siya sa ang purchase return, makaapekto sa both. Ang purchase allowance sa cost ra. Ang freight in makaapekto ra pud sa cost nga part. Ang departmental transfer in makaapekto sa both. Ang departmental transfer out makaapekto sa both. So sa debit, sa departmental transfer in, it should be added. Sa departmental transfer out, it should be deducted. Okay? Okay, si sales discount and sales allowances, it should be ignored again because there is no actual flow of inventory. Unlike ni sales return. So sales return, of course, it should be deducted sa sales. Employee discount, so this is new to you. It should be added to sales. And if there is shortage, shrinkage, spoilage, and breakage, pag normal ra ang amount, so it is a deduction of the retail. Sa retail lang. Pero if abnormal ang amount, this is a deduction to both the cost column and the retail column. Okay? That's why once you will encounter this item, you will know nga i-appeal siya sa cost nga column or sa retail nga column. So this is your guide. Okay. So sa conservative approach and the average approach, ang ilang kalahian dili ilabot ni conservative approach ang markdown. Okay? When they're going to identify ang goods available for sale, dili ay i-appeal ni conservative approach ang markdown sa price. Whereas si average approach ay appeal niya ang markdown sa price, both the markdown and the markup. While si FIFO approach, wala niya gi-consider sa computing the cost ratio ang beginning inventory because accordingly sa FIFO approach, the markup and markdown was on recent purchases. Dili sa beginning inventory. Wala na appeal sa beginning inventory. That's why sa FIFO approach, ang iya lang i-consider when you compute the cost ratio katurang mga purchases as of this year. So cost divided by the retail. So guys, I will just give you this solution and try to study this solution. So giunsa ra ni siya, gikuha after computing the goods available for sale sa cost nga column and sa retail nga column, imo na lang i-divide para makuha ang cost ratio. Dayon, as to you need to know pila ang amount sa ending inventory in retail. Kay mao man ni basis nato to convert the ending inventory retail to ending inventory cost. Again, sa retail na siya markup or while si cost as to puhunan. So, once you have the total goods available for sale, minusan lang na nimo siya sa net sales and the related adjustment. So, pila ang goods available for sale minus sa nambaligya. So, ang nabilin mo ito yung ending inventory retail. Okay, kung nakay ending inventory retail, i-multiply ang cost ratio, so maka-convert na din mo ang ending inventory retail to cost of ending inventory or ending inventory cost. So, mo to siya nga cost versus retail. Once you have the retail amount and then multiply to the cost ratio, makuha na nimo ang equivalent cost. So, same approach sa average. Sa average lang is, gi-consider na nato ang net markdown. Dayon, usa nato nakuha ang total goods available for sale. So, unlike sa conservative approach nga 16 million, ang atong denominator sa retail, sa average approach 15 million. Because we consider the markdown, net markdown. So, timan lang ito ninyo guys, basta conservative, dili i-appeal ang markdown in computing the cost ratio. While sa average approach, i-consider na natong markdown in computing the cost ratio. While sa FIFO approach, dili nato i-consider ang beginning inventory in computing the cost ratio. But overall, they have the same concept. Sa cost ratio ra sila nag-matter. Okay? So, I will send it to you katong solution aning conservative approach, average approach, and FIFO approach. So, basically, we end the all inventory related na subtopics. So, guys, if you have question, I will entertain that one next meeting. And then, mag-biological asset sa ta. Quick lang sa biological asset. Let's revisit this estimation, inventory valuation, estimating of inventory valuation, okay? Because I think that was quite new to you. Bago ba to? Or na-cover na sa inyong undergrad? Are you still here? Okay. So, let's revisit the estimation of inventory valuation next meeting. But I will send to you the solution first, so that you can study also. So, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for joining. Okay. So, guys, if you... Okay. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. You may now leave.